Hi, I'm Jake Grez, also known as Nurse Jake. As a travel nurse, I've worked in all kinds of places, different settings, cities, and climates. Every assignment brings on a new challenge, which is why I always bring my figs. These scrubs are built for whatever the job throws at you. They're breathable, flexible, and comfortable in any environment. No matter where I land, I know they're going to keep me looking and feeling my best. And don't sleep on the details. The pockets, the features, the finishing touches, everything has a purpose, and it makes a real difference when you're moving nonstop. The fit is clean, tailored, and super polished, and they come in a huge range of colors. In other words, they feel great throughout a 12-hour shift, and they always look good. See every healthcare professional on Instagram. If you work in healthcare or know someone who does, check out Figs and get 15% off your first order at wearfigs.com with code FIGSRX. That's wearfigs.com, code FIGSRX.
If you've spent any time online lately, you may have noticed that creatine has escaped the weight room. For years, it lived beside those giant tubs of protein powder, marketed mainly to bodybuilders and 20-somethings who considered leg day a personality trait. But now it's turning up in conversations about healthy aging and menopause, brain fog, fatigue, and even sleep. That is quite a career change for a scoop of white powder. But whenever an old supplement gets a shiny new story, it's worth slowing down. Is creatine genuinely useful after 40? Can it help preserve muscle, memory, or even mental energy? And what does it have to do with sleep? The short answer is that creatine is neither a miracle nor nonsense. It's one of the most thoroughly researched sports supplements available, and it may be especially relevant in midlife. But some claims online have gotten several steps ahead of the evidence. So, on today's episode, we're going to take a look and separate what we know, what looks promising, and what really still belongs in the maybe column. I'm Jay, and this is Somnilopod. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am very grateful that you're taking some of your time to spend with me today. And I love a supplement. I'll be honest. A supplement comes up. I see the stuff online. I do a little bit of research. I think, yeah, I'll try it. So I get on Amazon. I give it a try. Something that's been coming across my feeds a lot lately is creatine. So I wanted to talk a little bit about it. Creatine is a compound that your body makes from amino acids. Most of it is stored in skeletal muscle, although the brain and other tissues use it as well. We also get smaller amounts from foods, particularly meat and seafood. Its basic job is energy management. Every cell uses a molecule called ATP as immediate energy. During demanding tasks, lifting a heavy box or quickly climbing stairs, muscle cells use available ATP rapidly. Stored creatine helps recycle it, so those cells can keep producing energy a little longer. Think of it less like adding more gasoline and more like keeping a small backup battery charged. It doesn't create unlimited energy. It helps your cells respond when demand suddenly rises. Supplementation increases the creatine stored in muscle. The form used in most research is creatine monohydrate. Despite newer products with more impressive names and prices, there's little reason to assume that an exotic version works any better. As we move through midlife, many adults generally lose muscle mass and strength. The rate varies, and this isn't a sentence handed down on your 40th birthday. Activity, nutrition, illness, hormones, and other factors influence it. Still, preserving muscle matters. Muscle helps us climb stairs, helps us maintain our balance, and recover from illness, and manage our blood sugar, and continue to do the ordinary things that make us feel like our life is our own. This is where creatine has its strongest case. Research in middle age and older adults suggests that creatine can support gains in strength and lean tissue, particularly when combined with progressive resistance training. That last part is important. Creatine does not sit in the cabinet radiating muscles into your body. It may give working muscles a little more capacity, allowing you to train more effectively and build better results over time. A recent review involving postmenopausal women found small improvements in lean mass and strength when creatine, particularly doses of at least 5 grams a day, was paired with resistance training. Reviews of older adults have reached a similar conclusion. The combination is generally more useful than supplementation alone. You're unlikely to wake up looking as though you've been secretly training for an action movie, but modest improvements in strength and function can be genuinely valuable. And although much of the newer marketing targets women, creatine isn't a women-only or a man-only supplement. Maintaining strength really matters for all of us. But what is it doing for our brain and for memory? Well, the brain is an energy-hungry organ. Because creatine helps cells meet rapid energy demands, researchers have been studying whether increasing brain creatine might support memory and thinking. This is fascinating, I think, but it isn't as settled as the muscle research. Reviews suggest possible benefits for memory in older adults or when brain energy is under greater strain. Vegetarians may sometimes respond more noticeably, possibly because they consume less creatine from food. But results are mixed. The researchers haven't established an ideal plan for increasing creatine in the brain. So, if someone promises that a daily scoop will erase your brain fog or prevent dementia or restore the memory you had in 1987, that promise is running a little ahead of the science. The fair conclusion is that creatine is a credible reason to be studied for brain health, and the early findings are encouraging. It should be viewed as a possible support, not a treatment for memory loss or a substitute for medical evaluation when cognitive changes are new or persistent or even worsening. And this part is especially relevant for all of us here. Creatine is sometimes described online as though it improves sleep. That is not what the strongest evidence shows. Small, controlled studies have found that creatine may reduce some decline in cognitive performance during acute sleep deprivation. Participants perform better on certain demanding mental tasks after having been kept awake. Is that interesting? Sure. But permission to sleep 4 hours and repair the brain damage with powder? Absolutely not. These studies examine performance during sleep deprivation. That did not show that creatine recreates sleep's restorative functions or makes chronic sleep restriction safe. Sleep supports everything from immune and metabolic health to emotional processing and memory. Helping with one laboratory task cannot replace that whole body process. There also isn't really enough evidence to say that creatine reliably helps people fall asleep, stay asleep, or improve sleep quality. If insomnia, loud snoring, witnessed pauses in breathing, or excessive daytime sleepiness are the problem, these symptoms deserve proper attention. Creatine is not a treatment for insomnia or sleep apnea. Now, there are some common questions about a practical approach to using creatine. Creatine draws water into muscle cells, especially during a high dose loading phase, so the scale may rise slightly. This isn't body fat gain. Larger doses may also cause bloating or stomach discomfort. Loading is optional. A steady daily dose of 3 to 5 grams can gradually saturate muscle stores and may be easier on the stomach. Controlled research has not supported the claim that recommended creatine use dehydrates healthy adults. Normal hydration still matters, particularly during exercise or hot weather. And hair loss. That concern largely grew from one small study that measured a hormone associated with hair loss rather than hair loss itself. Current evidence does not establish that creatine causes baldness. Kidney health needs more care. Creatine can raise blood creatinine, a marker used to estimate kidney function. That doesn't automatically mean damage, but it can complicate some lab interpretation. Recommended amounts have generally been well tolerated in healthy adults, but creatine isn't right for everyone. People with kidney or liver disease, abnormal kidney tests, significant medical conditions, or medications that may affect kidney function should speak to their physician or pharmacist first. The same caution applies during pregnancy or breastfeeding. If you use creatine, tell the clinician ordering your lab work. If your healthcare professional agrees, choose plain creatine monohydrate, preferably independently tested. A common research-supported amount is 3 to 5 grams daily. Consistency matters more than a magical time of day. Most importantly, pair it with resistance training, weights, bands, machines, or suitable body weight movements. Creatine doesn't replace adequate protein, balanced nutrition, recovery time, or sleep. Supplements tend to look most impressive when advertising carefully crops those things out of the picture. So what's the bottom line? Creatine deserves neither the suspicion once attached to it, nor the magical status it sometimes receives today. For healthy adults after 40, creatine monohydrate can be a reasonable tool to support strength in lean tissue and exercise performance, especially alongside resistance training. Its possible benefits for memory and cognitive resilience are promising, but the science is not developing. And while it may help the brain cope with certain short-term effects of sleep deprivation, it does not replace the restorative work of sleep itself. The goal in midlife is not to collect every supplement that earns a week of attention online. Although I have tried to do that. You should have seen my pill box at one point. It was a little crazy. But it's important to choose useful tools and to understand what they can and cannot do. Place them inside habits that support, the life you want to keep living. Creatine may be one of those tools, but the foundation remains wonderfully ordinary. Use your muscles, feed yourself well, protect your sleep, and make choices you can continue long after the trend has moved on. I hope this has been fun and interesting for you. I hope you've learned something. If you have a creatine story, please let me know. If you like it, if you don't like it, if you had problems with it, touch base with me at j@somnilopod.com. You can also reach me through Facebook or YouTube. And until we talk again, please remember to make sleep a priority. Thanks so much.